Thank you, Mr. President. Today I rise to speak about an important cohort of our Tasmanian community which includes many but is often overlooked. This week is National Carers Week, a chance to recognise and celebrate the 2.65 million carers right across Australia. Closer to home, more than 80,000 Tasmanians, or 1 in 6 of us, are carers. Mr. President, this is the highest ratio of carers in the country, and many of us here would have friends and family members who are counted among them. The Carer Recognition Bill, which has been tabled in the other place, defines a carer as this: a person who provides unpaid care and support to a family member or friend who has a disability, mental illness, a chronic or life-limiting condition, is frail or aged, or has alcohol or other drug dependence. As is clear from this definition, carers are distinct from paid support workers, who indeed we value quite separately. Carers are acting in an unpaid capacity to support a loved one, usually a family member. In fact, many who fit the definition may not even see themselves as a carer, and in fact anyone can become a carer at any time across our life journey. Mr. President, while every carer has a unique journey, the common thread is that they are providing care as an extension of their relationship, from the good of their heart and in times from a sense of responsibility. While carers often report that they find fulfilment in their role, there can be significant personal costs incurred while undertaking the caring role. Results from the recent National Carers Survey highlight that carers experience high rates of psychological distress and isolation, with carers spending, on average, 108 hours per week providing care to their loved ones. More than 40% of Tasmanian carers report that they never get time out from their caring responsibilities. This is a significant burden that is being borne with love. While the impacts of COVID-19, Mr. President, were far-reaching, there likely isn't a cohort that was more impacted than carers and their care recipients. Carers themselves were and are more likely to find themselves in a high-risk situation regarding the virus. ABS data tells us that 28% of carers are over the age of 65, with 43% of carers reporting disabilities of their own, more than double that of the non-carer population. Given this vulnerability, as our focus as a state and a nation moves towards a post-COVID world, the continued risk faced by carers and their loved ones must not be forgotten. Mr. President, in an opinion piece published in the Mercury newspaper on Saturday, Carers Tasmania CEO David Brennan detailed some of the issues faced by carers with regards to employment and economic opportunity, noting that many carers still leave the workforce entirely or significantly reduce hours to enable them to care, and that it is common for them to exist on payments for more than a decade. Mr. President, these payments are equal to only 28% of an average Australian weekly earning for a single, or 21% for a couple. Mr. Brennan in that piece also rightfully points out that this is indeed a gendered issue, with nearly 75% of all carers being women. Mr. President, I'd say that we owe it to the carers in our community to not only recognise the incredible work that they do, but to ensure that we take steps to protect carers from retiring into poverty and to minimise the negative impacts that come alongside their role. State and federal budgets with well-embedded gender-responsive budgeting techniques must recognise the immense contribution that informal care makes to our economy and take steps to ensure that carers are not left stranded with regard to their employment and economic futures. Mr. President, I would also like to acknowledge the important work here of Carers Tasmania as the peak body to support and advocate for carers, as well as the support it provides through the Care to Serve program as part of the National Carer Gateway. The Carer Gateway provides access to carer-related supports, including counselling, peer support groups, workshops and retreats, as well as much-needed respite and in-home supports. In fact, in my electorate of Nelson, the Care to Serve has partnered with the Kingston Neighbourhood House to deliver a number of support groups and workshops, including Care to Cook and Care to Grow, innovative sessions focused on health, cooking and nutrition. I mentioned earlier, Mr. President, the Carer Recognition Bill that has been tabled in the other place. I note that we do lag behind as the last state to formally recognise carers through dedicated legislation. The government has indicated that it expects to debate the bill in November, and I very much look forward to a debate in this chamber on that bill. I thank Carers Tasmania and other stakeholders for their persistent advocacy for this formal recognition mechanism. Mr President, in wrapping up, I wish to thank each and every carer across Tasmania for their vital and valued contribution to our state. This National Carers Week, we truly do have a million reasons to care.